Brothers, is this Saturday? There aren't even any cars on UE Road. I've noticed Harbin is deserted these past 2 days. No cars at all. It's really scary.
真吓人呐！我说这屯子没人呐，你们都不信。
I said that this village is deserted. You guys don't believe me. Look, my fans, the temperature is below minus 30 degrees Celsius. And look, not a single smoke is coming out. Not a single house is smoking. This village is deserted now. The northeast is deserted.
没人了。
Once, the northeast was the backbone of China's industry. Daqing's oil fields, Anshan steel, and Changchuan's automobiles supported the pride of an era. However, the roar of those days has long since faded away, and many cities and villages today present a different, heartbreaking scene. 9 out of 10 houses are empty. Some villages even have only one villager left. One netizen bluntly stated, "What Northeast China is today is what the rest of the country will be tomorrow."
今天呢，带大家看看我们黑龙江农村的现状。
Today, let's take a look at the current situation in rural Heilongjiang. Look at this main road, there's not a soul in sight. Where have all the people gone? In previous years, it was so lively everywhere. We'll go over there and walk around a couple of streets to see what's going on. First, look at this street, it's so desolate. There's not a single person here, not a single person on this main road. The doors are locked, such nice houses are all empty. They all moved away, the yards are overgrown with weeds. Nobody is here.
这都没有人。哎呀妈，长春卓展啊！
Why is there nobody here at Changchuan? The gate is closed, it's all deserted now, everything's shut down. We don't even know what the signs are called. Nobody's here anymore. This place is finished now. It used to be so popular.
这曾经多火呀！
有人说你们
Some people say that there are more and more Northeasterners all over the country now, but fewer and fewer in the Northeast. That's right, the total population of the 3 northeastern provinces is more than 11 million, less than 10 years ago. Actually, we don't even need to look at this data, just look at the streets and alleys of the south. Everywhere you hear northeastern accents, everywhere you look, you see people from the northeast, and you'll know how many people the northeast has lost in recent years. Of the 36 administrative regions in the northeast, except for Changchuan, Shenyang, and Harbin, the population of the other 33 cities has been consistently negative. The blogger says that everyone knows the winters in the northeast are exceptionally cold, so any northeasterner with some means likes to go to Sanya in the winter. Sanya has practically become a second hometown for people from northeast China. These people have indeed driven local development, not counting long-term immigrants from the northeast. As many as 1 million northeasterners spend the winter in Sanya each year. It's fair to say that northeasterners' contributions to Sanya are significant.
在东北，如果说
In northeast China, if we don't deliver food, I wonder what ordinary people can do in the northeast. Right now, most ordinary people in the northeast are unemployed and end up delivering food. The other day, I even saw men and women in their 50s and 60s, all looking quite old, delivering food. Really, there's not much to do in the northeast anymore. There are no factories, no resources, no tourism. What can you do? There's really nothing. Some young couples who just got married are thinking of opening a shop, like a spicy hot pot restaurant, but it might close down right after the renovations are finished. Really, there's not much to do in the northeast now. It's too tough.
我在哈尔滨一兴街。
I invested $20,000 in a 100 square meter barbecue restaurant in Yixing Street in Harbin. It's been open for almost a year, but today I really can't hold on any longer. Actually, my dishes have been verified by a large number of customers, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. But the fundamental reason why this restaurant can't continue is that I fell into 3 major pitfalls, each one fatal. The first pitfall was opening during the off-season. The peak season for barbecue in northeast China is only 3 months, June, July, and August. Once the temperature drops in winter, hardly anyone walks on the streets. After October, our turnover plummeted. The blogger said that the second pitfall he fell into was selecting the location. Based on his 10 years of experience in restaurant location selection, as long as you choose a third-rate location in a first-class business district, there shouldn't be any major problems. But this time, he ignored the major trend of consumption downgrade. Customers' spending habits have changed. Everyone's careful with their money, and when they finally get a chance to eat out, they prefer familiar places and are hesitant to try new ones for fear of disappointment. The third pitfall was underestimating the importance of value of money. Going forward, he plans to focus on delicious food, generous portions, and affordable prices, offering customers genuine value.
哈尔滨的现状。
You might not believe what I'm about to tell you, but many companies are now unable to pay salaries. You might go to work on a normal day, and that evening you might receive a notice saying the company has closed down.
要不说咱东北的孩子
No wonder all the kids from Northeast China are leaving. The employment situation is so bad. The situation is indeed quite worrying. My wife's sister just graduated and was looking for a job in Harbin. When she opened Boss.com, all she saw were similar posts. A 7-day unpaid trial period followed by a probationary period. And only after passing that would she be officially hired. If you tried 4 companies in a month, you basically have no income for a month. Later, she considered going to Shenyang, but a friend said it wasn't much better there. Let's not even talk about the fact that many recent graduates lack experience. But unpaid trial periods are illegal. It's not easy for small businesses to survive, but in my 7 or 8 years drifting in Beijing, this is really rare. The blogger said he heard some companies have almost zero labor costs. They hire people for a 7-day free trial, fire them after 7 days, and then replace them with the next batch. People seem to have become accustomed to this practice. Even if the fired employees go to arbitration, it takes a long time and energy, and the wages they can get back are already low. Considering how troublesome it is, many people just give up.
有个非常恐怖的是，
I have something terrifying to tell you. Northeast China is disappearing. In 30 years, there may be almost no one left in the entire Northeast. You heard right. This is a very terrifying reality. In 2021, the birth rate in the 3 northeastern provinces was only 0.43%, while South Korea, which has the lowest fertility rate in the world, was 0.52%. The birth rate in Northeast China is even lower than that of South Korea. This may only be the beginning, because starting in 2030, my country will enter the death period of the baby boomer generation. The number of deaths in Northeast China could reach nearly 3 million per year, and with the ongoing population loss, the annual population decline in Northeast China could reach as high as 5 million.
在我们东北啊，
In Northeast China, the 2 worst performing industries right now are catering and education training. The second worst are clothing and beauty, nail salons, eyelash extensions, etc. Those temporarily doing relatively well include fruit shops, flower shops, coffee shops, and wedding and maternity baby businesses. Now, so many industries are definitely earning much less than before, and many are even losing money. I meet with business owners from all walks of life every day, and to be honest, it's not just you who's struggling. Everyone is struggling. Most people are now in a dilemma. If you continue, there's no hope. If you quit, you don't know what else you can do.
在东北开一家
What's it like to invest $140,000 to open a Western restaurant in Northeast China? Since graduating from university in 2012, I've run 7 or 8 shops, big and small, but I've never seen anything as bad as this. Right now in Jishi City, Heilongjiang, around 6 or 7 p.m., don't tell me no one comes to my place. Go out on the main street and you'll see nobody. Maybe times have changed. How can I say I'm not capable enough?
也许时代变了吧，就是怎么说自己能力不够。
我是有计划这2年回东北工作的。
I plan to go back to work in Northeast China within the next 2 years, but every time I open a job posting, my heart sinks. Partly because the salary is indeed quite low, but that's not the most important thing, because I have expectations. If I go back, I'd be willing to accept a pay cut. But what's the most fatal thing? I was talking to a friend about this. He's from Heilongjiang, and I'm from Jilin. He said that if he went back to Northeast China, his biggest fear would be that no matter what he would do, he'd have to ask for help and beg for favors. I feel this is also a source of pain for me. Northeast China is a society built on personal connections. It seems that even if you want to be a sanitation worker sweeping the streets, you need connections to get the job. The blogger said she's a native of Northeast China and loves her hometown. She thinks the Northeast is vast and rich in resources, and the grains and vegetables grown there taste better than elsewhere. But what she can't stand most is the social dynamics there. You have to ask for favors and be obsequious for everything. She said her current feeling is that her hometown can't accommodate her body, and the foreign land can't accommodate her soul. Let me share something I personally experienced. A while ago this year, my wife's cousin got sick. He had a growth in his head and needed to be hospitalized for surgery. He was admitted to a provincial-level tertiary hospital. On the 4th day after admission, his condition suddenly worsened, requiring urgent surgery. The blogger said the doctor told the family the hospital had no beds available and that the surgery couldn't be performed. But at that time, her cousin's condition was already very serious, and the family was frantic, discussing what else could be done. Later, someone suggested that giving the doctor a bribe might solve the problem. So the family secretly handed over $300, and not long after, the doctor changed his mind and said that a bed was available and the surgery could be arranged. The blogger says this situation is very common in Northeast China. For people at the bottom of society, getting anything done is incredibly difficult.
不是我故意抹黑东北，我就告诉你，老铁。
I'm not deliberately trying to smear Northeast China, but let me tell you, I also lived in the South for a few years. What's the biggest difference? When I was in the South, I worked in sales. When you went to companies for cold calling, you had to talk to the leaders, the chairman, the HR, or the vice president. If you talked to the leader about something and they believed it was good and helpful to their company, they would unconditionally help you promote it, organize people to listen to you talk about it, and let you promote it.
啊，听你去讲这个事儿，你去宣讲。
The blogger says that in Northeast China, if a salesperson goes to a new company to sell something, they probably won't even get to see the leader.
你上农村来看一看。
Go to the countryside and take a look. There are rows and rows of houses. My house is in the middle, but there's no one over there and no one over here either. Almost every village is practically empty, if not completely deserted. Many of my good friends have left. Some went to school, some went to support their families. Those who have a little extra money bring their parents to Sanya to live in the winter. It's like migratory birds.
跟候鸟迁移一样样了。
世界都有东北人。
There are Northeasterners all over the world, but there are no Northeasterners in Northeast China. The most authentic Northeastern rural life. There are only a few houses on this street. Our village used to have around 70 or 80 households, maybe even 100 or 180. But now it would be lucky to have 40 or 50. In our village, most young people stay home to farm so they can keep an eye on things. Look, I've been wandering around this main street all morning, and I haven't seen a single person. That's how it is in the countryside now.
农村现在就这样啊。
The blogger said he remembers when he was a child, the streets were full of children. Back then, everyone hoped that one day we'd have streetlights, but now we have streetlights and the streets are deserted.
我说现在餐饮不好干。
I said the restaurant business is tough these days. There's no one in the store, and some trolls yelled at me, telling me to find the reason myself, that it's my taste that's bad. Let me show you. It's around 4:20 p.m. Beijing time. Look around here in Northeast China. Is there anyone on the street? You can't even drag a few people in to eat on this main street.
你想出去拽几个人进来吃饭都没有。
现在吉林市的真实情况。
You wouldn't believe the reality of Jilin City right now. A couple of days ago, I was chatting with friends from various industries, and they said it's tough to do anything now. Some small shops are just down to the owner trying to stay afloat. There's a beauty salon downstairs in my condo complex. It's changed owners twice in 6 months. 6 out of 10 shops on the street are currently up for sale. I don't understand why the economy is so bad.
那现在的经济为啥这么差？
This blogger went to Northeast China and several local characteristics left a deep impression on her.
在东北吃饭，
Eating in Northeast China, if you order sweet and sour pork, it comes out as a huge iron plate. If you order cold noodles, they come out in a huge wash basin. If you think about ordering a stew, something light, it comes out as a huge iron pot with ribs, green beans, and corn. It smells so good to dazzle you. My principle in big cities is that if I don't look up, nobody will talk to me. But that doesn't work at all in Northeast China. The air there seems to be thick with overly familiar people. Take a taxi and the driver can chat about everything from international affairs to his aunt's sauerkraut jar. You're practically sworn brothers by the time you get out.
不自觉的开始说整一个。
The blogger said that if you go to the morning market to buy groceries, the auntie will definitely nag you if she sees you're not dressed warmly enough. Wear more clothes, don't get cold. If you ask for directions on the street, the guy will practically take you there himself. In this atmosphere, it's hard to stay aloof.
带大家看看。
Let me show you the real situation in our village. This house is empty. There are only a few houses left. Before, our village probably had over 100 households. According to incomplete statistics, only about 50 households remain. Most of the young people have left. This family has all left. They've all gone to the city, to their children's homes. You rarely see young people in the countryside anymore. Most here are over 50.
人均都是50以上。
The blogger says that in rural Northeast China, people mainly rely on farming to make a living. But farming income simply can't support a family. Children need to go to school and the elderly need to be cared for, so they have no choice but to go to work. Everyone says it's hard to leave one's homeland, but sometimes leaving is a choice made out of necessity. We finally made it through 2025. If I had to sum it up, it would be these words: a nightmare for the restaurant industry. Let me give you a rundown. First, we experienced ultra low prices, low price customer acquisition, low price group buying. Needless to say, just as we got used to this low price rhythm, the 8+1 policy came, and the restaurant industry was directly halved. I've been running a stall and opening a shop for over 10 years, and I've never experienced anything like this. Goodbye to the dark year of 2025. I hope the restaurant industry will recover in 2026. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.